Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Lockdown the Podcast. Daniel likes to call it Lockdown the Podcast, so sometimes we accidentally call it that, but if we keep doing it, we're going to get sued. This is just Lockdown. I'm your host, William Gabriel, and I also did it wrong.
I am your other host, Daniel Wargo. Sounded right to me until you just went on.
Well, it's just Lockdown. Lockdown the Podcast is a different thing, and I keep forgetting we can't call it that.
But how do people know that it's a podcast?
Because they're listening to it for the most part. They already have the podcast app, and they're like, this is a podcast I listen to. Do you think, like, Serial is called Serial the Podcast? Is it? It might actually be called that.
I don't know. Maybe it is a podcast.
We just call it Serial, though, right?
I really thought we should call our show Lockdown. It is a podcast.
When? I think that's my joke from like 7 weeks ago.
Well, I stole it then, and I made it better.
It's the same. Let's
But
actually.
it came out of my mouth.
Change it.
Okay. I don't have a great memory. We've discussed this.
Yes, that's why we keep saying. How was your week, man?
Should I do this joke again? I am doing
the wrong
really.
way, though.
Oh, for me, it's the right way.
Do it for the YouTube people.
Okay.
Wait.
Let's give a high five.
They're sweaty.
Wait, do a high five. Ready?
I gave a sound effect because it's still a podcast.
My week, I'm tired, dude. I'm really tired.
Dude, I took some melatonin gummies last night, and that was a mistake. I am barely here.
Wow,
Yeah.
melatonin gummies. That sounds special, actually.
I've only seen people take like too much of them, and then they like fall asleep. Like they think they're just eating like regular gummies, and then they're like, "Oh fuck!" and then they sleep for 3 days. So I was like,
Wow.
"Those probably work." I have sleep problems.
Yeah.
They work.
So,
dude.
have you not been sleeping well?
Most of my life.
Oh, okay. Well, so the melatonin gummies, they put you out.
Yes.
They get you to sleep, but they wake you up a little groggy. Is that right?
Yeah, I had to fight to do this show today. I was like,
Did you?
I could sleep another 30 minutes, but then I would not shower before the show.
But you want to shower.
Always.
Because you care about how you smell around me.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision. I did shower, but I wouldn't care if I didn't because
you have no
can't
problem
smell me.
sleeping.
Yeah. Not I haven't had problems in a couple years. Although sometimes Sherman's like kind of a dick when we sleep, so that's when I don't sleep well, but it's not my fault, it's his.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
he likes to cuddle you. I forgot about that.
It's like a lately thing. He wants to get up all nestled up. I'm like, "Bro, what do you think this is?
Oh,
Don't get too
there's
used to this."
the other dog saying hello to Sherman. He's
Oh, I can't even hear it.
good, because it's fucking distracting.
Yeah.
Tell me about your week so I forget about it.
Well, you know what I was thinking? For a guy who like doesn't have a job and is technically unemployed, like I just fucking work all the time.
You know what they call that?
What?
Manic episodes.
Oh, is that what it is? It's my bipolar disorder kicking in. Like, We're ready. We're ready to get some work done. Yeah, no, I feel good. Things have been good. It was a good week. I really have been just. It feels like all of these like systems that I've been putting in place over the past 6-7 months are finally systems.
That's good.
You know, which is great, but there is just kind of like a constant. I can do this because it's like because they're in place, I can do other things. I can pick up other things. I can put my mind in other creative places, and so I have all of this work to do. And I'm like, and then I do this too, and now I'm gonna do this. And
sounds like you got a juggle of the technical. So now you're just sort of free forming it. There is a structure to it, and now you're just sliding down a hill of desire.
Pretty much. I mean, it takes a lot of work, obviously.
Sure,
but it feels good to be at this spot. Although I'm realizing, my YouTube channel started like 7 months ago, and I haven't
videos
really
now?
like 65 maybe,
That's a lot.
something like
That's
that.
a lot of Daniel.
It's a lot of Daniel. Yeah, there's several hours of Daniel. And I just haven't taken any breaks or time off, not from the channel, but just like in my own personal life in so long because of the pandemic that I'm like, oh man, I need 2 days. I need
Yeah.
2 days like in Santa Barbara, getting some wine, getting some fish.
Yeah, let's travel, Daniel. Let's do the fucking TikTok challenge and just travel. Fuck. There's nothing
Hey,
going on.
Hey, it's only 3.5% positivity rate in California right now. So Santa Barbara, here I come.
It's going down. Well, speaking of going outside, how was your hike? Your Valentine's Day hike? We spent Valentine's Day doing our activities. I actually did leave the house. I'll tell you about that in a second, but I want to hear about your hike.
You want to hear about my hike? Okay.
Yeah.
It was a doozy. Let me tell you, it was so hard. I couldn't believe it. I went to the top of the world hike in Laguna Beach, which I'd always heard about, And
so this is your first time doing it.
First time doing it, yeah. And it was very beautiful. It was a great day. There wasn't a ton of people there, but the parking was. I had to park like on that main drag that goes into Laguna Beach, the 133 or whatever, that Laguna Canyon Road.
Yeah, it always
and then
feels like you're gonna die when you go on that road.
Exactly, yeah, that road. So I had to park on there, and then the trailhead was like half a mile uphill through a neighborhood. And so I was like, by the time I got to the hike, I was like, damn.
I already did a hike.
Yeah, like I'm done, you know?
Turned around right there. Said you did it. Really
I wish I would have. Because that hike was steep.
Does your ass hurt?
It was really steep. And I mean, not anymore, but it did.
See, I'm not walking wrong. This is what I wanted to fucking confirm. I just do these kinds of walks. You do these kinds of walks normally. That's why my ass hurts. And now yours does too.
What's these kind of walks?
Just like hills. Like different intervals of ups and downs.
And I do more straight because I live on the suburbs.
Podcast. People can't see my stupid arm.
You do more hills, and I do more straights.
More straights.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great hike, though. It was very beautiful. It just was very steep, and like it was challenging. I'm not going to lie. And I'm also not going to lie. It was Valentine's Day. It was Sunday. I had a little mimosa before.
That's not
thought it was going to be
me.
easy. Haven't done that in a long time. And it was nice until I got in the hike. And then I was like, damn, that was a mistake. That was a mistake.
You felt good after? Did you earn anything by accomplishing that hike for yourself?
Earned.
Food-wise.
Earned.
Food.
I had the donut. I had mochi donuts before the hike.
The donuts.
The donuts. The famous ones. And I went to go get this like Vietnamese food that I'd looked up online after the hike. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to eat that.
Yeah.
And then I got there and they were like cash only today. And I was like, well, I don't have any. And then they were like, well, we can't give you food.
So they normally don't do that? It's just like a Valentine's Day thing. They're like, it's a special. Have cash on you in a pandemic.
Their thing was broken or whatever.
Okay. Well, that happens, Daniel.
And they didn't want to take Venmo, you know?
You didn't want to find an ATM?
Do you know how tired I was? I was done, dude. I was done. I was like, Taco Bell, it is.
Taco Bell.
Because I can't get out of my car again.
Did they at least put the nachos in a shape of like tortillas? Like the tortilla chips, like in the shape of a heart?
No.
Did you see at the grocery store they had like normal ass steaks in these heart containers that were definitely...
No.
Those were definitely made for a cake. But someone was like, let's put a bunch of steak in it.
That's so disturbing.
It's just not the way I want to see meat. Back to its natural shape. No, thank you. No.
So,
but that sounds fun.
Oh God, it was
Taco
a great
Bell's
day.
Always a good time. Not later.
Taco Bell was fine. I definitely threw up that night. Whatever.
Fuck.
I had a really late dinner. So it happens though.
Do you feel like if you had more than one mimosa before the hike, you would have literally just enjoyed the entire way, just like floated to the tops of the mountains?
It's either that or I would have had a heart attack. Like, it'd have been one or the other.
Gotcha.
No,
well, I'm glad you didn't die.
Luckily, I didn't get that second mimosa. No, actually, what I did is I went to the grocery store, got a little container of orange juice, got a little container of mimosa, poured half the orange juice in the trash, poured the mimosa in. Boom, you got a mimosa to go. So that was my Valentine's Day, though. But you had a honey. You had a sweetheart.
Still have a honey.
So, well, good. So it went well.
Thanks to your pasta video, because we watched. Well, before we made the pasta, I told you last week we were just gonna stay home on Valentine's Day.
Yes,
that was a lie. I forgot. You know how there's like Mimosa Daniel and regular Daniel? Mimosa Daniel thought, I can make this hike. Well, Whiskey William thought that it might be a good idea to go to this weird at the OC Fair dinosaur exhibit. Look at, clearly, that's my jam.
Yeah.
And when I drunkenly bought these tickets, I was like, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be like that like the Stranger Things thing they had in the Valley. It's gonna be like a lot of lights, a lot of production value. There's gonna be people like pretending they're in Jurassic Park. That's not what it was.
So what was it then?
It was like a drive-through museum.
Oh.
It was not. Like, I'm not gonna say that it was bad. It's just made for children. It's for for the little peoples. Yeah, and absolutely a blast if you were a kid. Christy still had a good time because she's just a big kid. I did like it, but I also was like, this is a lot of money for machines that do not look like they belong at a Disneyland ride at all. These look like the fair. This looks like fair. I just was expecting, when I looked at the email that I received on the day, I was like, I spent how much on this? And then it's a museum tour. We did get a free poster. Free picture. I should have pulled that so we had it for the show. Would have been funny. But it was less amusement park, more Jurassic parking lot. That's what it turned out to be.
Okay.
Still fun. Just not what I expected.
Not what you expected.
So I was in need of the pasta to be a hit because I was like, fuck, I already fucked up. I felt like Christy was just kind of being a good sport and be like, no, this is fun. This is a good time.
We're gonna make food with our hands now.
So
we saw shitty dinosaurs and now you're making me work. Cool.
So we get back, we wash our hands safely, but because we're making the pasta on the countertop, what do you call it when you clean the counter? Disinfect it.
Yeah, sure. There we go.
I don't know. You don't want like leftover chips in the dough, just like crumblies in your. Yeah. So
no,
I learned in that moment of pouring the flour onto my countertop that I no longer had measuring cups. In the move here, lost my measuring cups. So I just took like a mug and was like, this is a cup.
This is a cup. Okay.
Did 2 cups. I'm watching your video, doing the follow along. It looks like a lot more flour than your video. So I say to Christy, do I go to the store right now and get a measuring cup? And she's like, nah, it'll be fine. Just like if we do too much. Chef. Yes. But she's never made pasta before. She's done it like chef. With friends, but they're the ones in control.
Yes.
And I was the one in control. This guy. So I pour the eggs in. We start mixing the oil, all the stuff.
Yeah, you did.
It was a really crumbly dough. Not enough wetness going on. Not enough wetness. So I'm like, fuck, I should have gone to the store and got a measuring cup. But she's like, no. We'll just add another egg, a little more oil, a little more salt, just kind of like balance for it. We're making it up as we go. And we finally get it to a good consistency. It's a lot more dough than you made.
Okay.
We didn't make all of it. Some of it I saved to make the next day. And we get to the point where we're like, let's put it in the fridge and let it poof up. The poof up thing.
The poofing.
Then I realize, not only do I not have a measuring cup, I don't have a roller.
Oh no! Oh no! What are you gonna do?
So I did have to go to the store, and the whole time I'm driving to the store, I'm like, I fucking should have just gone earlier and got the fucking cups.
But you may not have remembered you didn't have a roller. And then you would have to go twice.
Oh, that actually gives me a lot of anxiety. That could have been that could have been the night.
That could have been the night. Wow.
I don't know. All in all, it came together. It was it was so good. It was so good. We did the like feta TikTok thing, but not with tomatoes, with mushrooms and spinach. It was a good time.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked good. So did you like that? I still haven't tried that feta thing.
I haven't done it with the tomatoes because acidic and acid reflux. That doesn't seem like a good idea. So I liked it the way I made it. But if you're going to find a block of feta, get ready to go to a few stores because William got up early that day and went to like 4 different grocery stores to find that shit.
Wow, to get that feta.
Because Christy told me later we could have just done it with the crumbly feta and it would have worked just the same.
Right, but it wouldn't have the same aesthetic.
Yeah, it wouldn't have the smooshing effect.
Yeah,
which I loved.
There's one that I want to try that isn't feta. It's with burrata and pesto, tomatoes. Oh my god, it looks so good.
Anything pesto, I'm about.
Yeah, dude.
Is that coming up on the channel pretty soon?
I think that might just be a TikTok.
Okay.
Because it's not like it doesn't take anything to like cook it with just noodles that are unless you're making the noodles homemade.
Yeah,
just like put this in the oven.
We can do that now.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
My
learn
dad's
something
like,
in the
so when are you gonna make noodles again? I'm like, well, Dad, it was a fucking job.
It was a job. Pay me, I'll do it.
He almost actually bought one of those little things because he was like, I liked that so much. Like he's looking for them.
It was definitely some work to get it as flat as you needed, but it was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed doing it. My hands hurt, but it was a good time.
Yeah. Isn't it? There's something like really primal about it when you're rolling that dough and you're just like, I'm going to eat this. And I'm working for it. It's kind of
the same thing I like about making a steak. Like it's very simple. You have to tend to it. But if you do it the right way and you don't fucking take your eyes off it, it's going to be fine.
It's going to be great.
I think I cooked it a little bit longer than you said to cook it.
I think mine ended up taking a little longer as well.
Yeah.
I cut things out of the video, obviously, because
fucking
I'm trying to make
fake
a good story.
News over here, Daniel.
But one of the things I did do, I think I cut it out of the video is, and this is the video that I watched that helped me with it was like, if it is a little dry, I did add a little water to it.
Oh.
And that was something she said you could
I wish you had told me that.
Sorry.
That should have been in the fucking video if that's what you did.
Yeah, but I don't know if the camera was turned on for that, you know? Might not have been. I might have just cut it. Sometimes I want to appear perfect.
Yeah. And that's the problem. But we're talking about food, and that brings us into our first segment that we tried out last week. We all fell in love with because turns out most of the people that watch this show want to just talk about food all day. So we're adding a little bit more food each week, it turns out. So this is our segment called Bussin' or Busted, where I bring or Daniel brings a new TikTok trend of the foodie world, something that people are trying out. We're going against the grain. We're trying things out, gonna just see what we haven't done before, like the tortilla fold, or just cooking temperatures correctly. This week, I have something that may trigger a lot of people, so here's your trigger warning.
This is gonna be great.
What are you doing?
Waffles, everybody. Y'all like chicken and waffles?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't do this.
Yeah,
Why
get
on
a
the
little on the sides. That way you have something to grab, I think, to pull up when it's done.
Oh.
Because it's not just going to fall out the bottom.
My famous chicken
right?
and waffles in the toaster.
Isn't this just pouring out of the bottom of the toaster?
This can't be safe.
Oh, yeah.
No. Don't. No.
Chicken.
Oh, no.
Chicken meats. Gonna put them in farm fresh eggs.
I like that he uses farm fresh eggs, though. He's very.
I like that
he likes his organic.
Coating things.
He likes the organic with the cheap Walmart syrup in the background.
Oh, dear God.
Just right in there. Just right in there. Yeah, I didn't want to give you part 2.
Oh, God.
This is the best part of it.
What is happening in America?
That's
disturbing.
That's not even a joke. That's a real video. Have you ever thought that waffles weren't good enough the way that they were? That we were like, let's fucking try a different way. Let's burn it in metal.
I don't think it's a waffle. Like, okay.
Okay.
Let me just. Okay. When you make pancake dough and when you make waffle dough, it's the same.
Is that true?
If it's not exactly the same, it's very similar.
You're just fucking making
I think it's
shit up.
exactly the same, though.
You're just like, it's the same.
Because, you know, sometimes you get those boxes and they're like, for waffles, here's your recipe. For pancakes, here's your recipe.
I thought waffles, you had to
It's
like
the same.
do it differently, though. So there's like that fluffy egg in there.
But like,
you don't
if
need for the pancake.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe there's an added ingredient.
Of eggs?
Maybe. It's possible. We would need to be checked on this.
Can we see a future episode of Forking Around where you buy a cheap toaster from the swap meet, clean it out, try this? Is this a trend you will be trying?
I'm doing that.
Okay.
I'm fucking not doing that ever. What makes a waffle different is the ridges from the waffle iron.
Yeah.
That's what separates a waffle from a pancake. Okay, if you just put it in a toaster, it's not a waffle or a pancake. It's a mess.
It's gonna have some ridges,
It's
though,
a
right?
mess.
Those little like gates that keep the
Handles?
toast. They like hold the toast in
Oh.
place. It's gonna have that.
Yeah, but toast stands up.
Isn't this just gonna start a fire? Can you imagine putting fucking uncooked chicken in your toaster oven? Wait, do people
No.
actually use toaster ovens to cook meat?
No.
Oh.
To warm up meat, a toaster oven, not a toaster.
Oh. So
A toaster is for toast and bagels and frozen waffles
bagels.
that are already cooked.
So I guess it all comes down to this, Daniel. Was that bussin' or busted?
Fuck, it was busted. I was hoping it'd be busting because I wanted to make something.
We
Because
can
you know our
find
rule.
those.
You know our rule. If it's busting, you got to try it on TikTok.
It's just my algorithm is so fucked up. I don't think I've seen good food in weeks.
Oh man, we gotta switch that up, man.
You just have to play your feed next to mine because every time I hang out with Christy and we're just like on TikTok at one point during the day,
Mm-hmm.
all of my TikTok turns into anime. And I'm like, what happened?
Because of Christy?
Yeah,
Oh,
all of hers is
okay.
just anime. So I feel like if you just sit next to me,
Interesting.
6 feet, of course, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll get some good recipes for once.
Maybe because that's almost, I would say, 90% of my TikTok is good food.
Hey,
7% is hot girl
recipes.
dancing. 3% is
I can't have that.
people singing. Well, that's the specialty of being single.
Hey,
Sometimes
TikTok,
I'm just like, I'm gonna
find
follow you. why not?
Sexy food, not sexy people, sexy food.
Sexy people eating sexy food,
Too much.
and then you can
Too
just
much
be like,
stimulation.
it's about the food. You know? Oh, I don't care what she looks like.
But it's not. Jesus.
Just,
I don't know. We love food here, but not that.
Ooh, no, God, like chicken and waffles, excellent. Make it. You know,
It's a dynasty of this country, this great country. It's one of the best foods that we have. Another, sweet and savory. The fucking case for pineapple pizza is coming closer and closer every week. Let's bring it closer. Let's embrace it for what it is. Take the mushrooms off, take the spinach off, get those fucking olives out of here. Put some pineapple. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. You only live once, Daniel, and I'm going to put pineapple in your life.
I like pineapple. Okay, I do not want pineapple on my pizza with tomato sauce and cheese and bread and like what? No, sorry, no.
I'm going to
no.
change you one day.
You're not.
I'm going to make it bussin' for you.
It's not. It's not. It's not. If you change the ham to prosciutto and you change the pineapple to nothing, I will eat that pizza.
That sounds like a very meat pizza.
Sounds delicious though, right? Prosciutto? Mm.
Isn't that just like fancier bacon ham?
Kinda.
What changes it? What makes it different?
Do I know? No. Do I care? No. Does it taste better? Yes.
You should know what's in it.
I think it's saltier.
That's it. They just like salt it.
Is it a different part of the pig? I have no idea.
There's a lot of pig. There's a lot of parts of pig. This show's going in a weird place. Part 2 of the podcast is we're gonna do a little refresh of stonks. Daniel is our stonk man. He's gonna teach us what to invest in, what to not invest in.
I'm not gonna do that.
He might, but we wanted to just circle back because
he might.
There's been some developments with Robinhood and them coming clean, or at least addressing what happened with the GameStop fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel?
Yeah, so obviously we spoke about this a couple weeks ago. Robinhood took GameStop off or down, essentially for a couple of hours on a very volatile day. Has since faced much
Doesn't have a
scrutiny.
name. Does this name? Does the day have a name yet? It should be named. Maybe just Stonk Day is probably good enough.
Probably, yeah. There's got to be something better, but
there has to be.
Sadder stonks,
but not from us. We're not talented enough.
We're not going to figure that out. Stonk Day it is, and they've gone under some scrutiny for that decision. If you hear the Robinhood CEO talk about it, he is talking about the ratio that they need to have in order to pay people out. The stock was going crazy, unlike any stock we've ever seen in the history of the stock market. So there was some fear for the company as well as for their investors. So it's been a weird couple weeks. GameStop definitely came back down. I don't think it's entirely back down.
People didn't hold the line. How dare they?
Nope, they sold.
It's all in Pokemon cards now.
Yep. And you know what we haven't heard is how many people lost money in that weren't Wall Street people, because there were a lot of regular people that lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we only hear the success stories.
But he said he was sorry, so that makes it all better, right?
It depends on what you're looking for with your apps. I did not have an issue with that, but I'm not a GameStop investor.
Yeah.
So I've been a Robinhood user for many years. I love their service. They have taught me so much about the stock market. I continue to use their service personally.
I feel like I know less now.
I just think if anyone's like, oh well, this company don't use Robinhood anymore. Use this other company that's still a Wall Street company. They're all shitty.
They're all the same.
What the fuck do you think is going? Like, oh no, there's one company that they're good and jolly and they do everything right. No, they're all shitty. It's the stock market, and if you aren't ready to play the game, keep your money in a bank. But guess what? The banks suck too.
So are we going back to just like money under the mattresses? Is that where we are in this pandemic?
You do what you got to do, okay? You tape a little behind the toilet, Yeah, they should be ashamed of themselves. But like, what did you think was going to happen?
All I can think about is chicken and waffles now. Like that's all I can think about.
You know what? Buy enough GameStop, you could buy some chicken and waffles.
Dude, my McDonald's is still out of fucking Pokemon cards. I'm never going to be able to afford it. They've been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. I think they're all out.
How dare they?
Stupid. And you know what McDonald's said? They said they're making more cards. So that just drove the value down.
Good. I don't want any of those scalpers to make money. I just want a Pikachu.
I wanted to scalp.
We've exposed Daniel.
I looked up my hollows, and they did not transfer.
Well,
they did not transfer.
Were they shadowless hollows?
What is a shadowless hollow?
You got to do more digging. If you're not willing to play the stonks market, Daniel, don't get into the game.
What's a shadow? Do they not have a shadow in them?
That's one way to look at it. The border, it's a misprint. There are original printings and first edition printings that the art is slightly different. Look at him go. Look at his 25th. What is that?
It's a Froakie.
What's a Froakie?
It's
not a Charizard.
And then I have this one too. I have two. Is it shadowless?
No, these are that doesn't apply to modern cards.
Wait,
you have to think about it in terms
of the Pokemon cards.
Yeah, but shadowless is something that only applies to like classic editions, like the first couple of decks. I don't even think that they have that when they go to jungle. There's a lot. There's a lot of stonks, Daniel, that you gotta look
I don't
into.
understand I haven't done Pokemon cards since 1998. Okay.
Where are your sleeves for those? They're just sitting out collecting dust? That's
No,
money.
it's in this. They gave me this thing. I used it. I set it up.
Foldable thing.
Yeah, I made it. Look, holds my Pokemon cards, and I can be like, gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon, and I've got my.
That's
cards.
a good place to put the normals, like the normal set. The hollows should go in a sleeve, my guy.
They're not worth any money.
Not. They will be.
Will they?
For
McDonald's is making
2
more.
weeks.
I don't think so.
Daniel's not
Nobody wants
ready.
my stupid hollows. Nobody wants them.
Well, not a Froggle.
You don't know. You don't know the things.
I've never seen those before in my life, and I play Pokemon Go still.
That I have that Pokemon in Pokemon Go.
I sure you do. I've just never seen it.
You don't go on as much as me though these days.
I do not.
Because I send you gifts, and I'm like, please open it.
Yeah.
Please open my Pokemon Go gift, and then like 4 days later, you do.
Well,
It's
I
like, bro,
wish we
we
had a
wasted 4 days.
Charizard. I wish we had a Charizard that could go around the country and warm it up a little bit because it's getting chilly out there. It's
It
chilly here
super
in
is.
California, and it's pretty fucking cold in Texas right
It's
now.
very cold in Texas. Would you say it's chilly here?
It's been colder. I put on my heater this morning. I didn't want to get out of bed, which is like a very privileged thing to even have at this point, but I was fucking cold, man. I'm
Yeah,
a
you
big
were.
guy.
Yeah, you were. Okay, I feel you. Yeah, so we're experiencing crazy weather in this crazy country.
Well, we have a
Damn
clip to
that.
kind of give us just
Okay.
a slight glimpse at what life has kind of been like outside of the state in something that we as Californians don't totally see as often or understand. But
What are you doing?
Warming up my burrito. We
Oh.
don't have electricity.
My God, you're crazy.
Oh,
Hurry!
what happened?
the power came back.
Yeah.
Oh no. The highs and lows of that video. The highs and lows.
That's
Wow.
I wanted to pull a food one for you to kind of bring it into terms because I've seen a lot of crazy shit like that. People making food for the first time over fire in their life. That dude was cooking a frozen burrito over 3 scented candles. That burrito's not going
Yeah.
to taste good.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's a bad burrito. That's a bad burrito. That was a real up and down there.
Yeah.
They got so excited, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna get to microwave their burrito."
Well,
But
I mean,
at first, I thought it caught on fire.
no.
That's what I thought happened at first, because he was like, "Oh my god,"
But the power came. You didn't notice the power coming on?
I didn't understand what was happening.
Oh,
It was happening
text.
so fast.
the text said it.
Oh, did it? Didn't even
Yeah.
see text. I only see people. I don't read.
I kind of don't either. Like, I'm realizing how much of my life I don't read. There's so
Yeah.
many video games. There's like tutorial parts, and I'm like,
Fuck it.
get to the movement.
I'll figure it out. This isn't rocket science. It's a video game.
Yeah, Texas is going through a hard one right now. I don't want to face away from any of that. It's a pretty devastating situation. And at the same time, it's something I don't really understand because this state doesn't really go through things like that to that degree. Our degrees are a little hotter when things like this happen. We definitely have power outs. Like every summer, someone's running their AC way too fucking long. And we lose power for like a half hour, something like this. Not 48 hours, not fucking days and days and days. That's very rare here. The infrastructure in Texas is clearly throttled to a just beyond. Like, it's so hard to even comprehend what these people are going through. My cousin is texting me that he hasn't had power this whole time, and he walks out to his car and turns it on, turns on the heater full blast just to fucking get like a little bit of warmth back in him. And he's just very lucky that he doesn't park in a garage. Otherwise, that's not really an option.
Right. Yeah, no, that's really crazy to think about and to experience that loss of power. What has been, and I don't know, maybe you know the answer to this. What's been kind of confusing to me is when Texas is obviously like an extremely fucking hot place in the summer. And they must pump their AC like crazy to survive. So like, my question, I guess, is like, why is the opposite so much, like why is the cold affecting the power grid that much? Because I feel like they would be really aptly prepared for
I think it's just
high
breaking the
heat.
machinery. This was an ice
It's just
storm
the
that is
machinery, you
beyond
think?
normally what happens. And a lot of these people's homes are made cheaper. How do my fucking 13% taxes look now, huh? Paying a lot of money, but I got purple lights on, motherfucker. That's a terrible thought. But I realized that a lot of these homes are built a lot cheaper and with a lot more windows than you would normally see in like these colder climate areas across the country. There would be a lot more just like, it's not ventilation. It's fucking like, what do you call it? When it's in the walls.
Insulation?
Insulation. Yeah,
Got you.
that.
Got you.
I think these homes are just not well equipped for this kind of a storm. So people are literally losing all of their heat through their windows. People are like, I'm seeing put blankets up with like nails over the windows, and that's insulating the house a lot more.
Yeah.
They're just going to weird, strange lengths to be able to get through this. I didn't want to turn a blind eye. It's a fucking devastating thing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that kind of whatever is happening in Texas on such a large scale is, has been, I'm sure, eye-opening for the people who manage different aspects of Texas, but it has been really devastating for the people who live there. So,
As well as, like, I think just the pandemic heightens so many of the things that you kind of have to do in this time. People are going to the grocery stores probably a lot more than they were a few weeks ago. They're having to stand in lines to get water. That's really dangerous during this time. We have so many different variants of the disease changing and growing over the country. It's not great timing, America.
No, it's a terrible, it's a terrible time to have bad weather. Not that there would be a better time necessarily, but to, just adds flame to fire, which we are already.
So Charizard, go Charizard,
go peak. I mean, Charizard.
How many people do you think over the last year have moved from Texas or moved from California to Texas? Obviously different parts of the country as well, but like got to be a huge exodus that we've experienced over this last 6-7 months. Just in the state alone.
I would imagine quite a few. I don't know the numbers there, but like a lot of businesses have moved out of California into Texas this year. There has been a lot of, it was already happening, like Austin, Texas, Dallas, Houston, they've been like heavily populating for years with Californians because it's just cheaper to live there. And I think people get a little bit overwhelmed living here and not having, not being able to afford a house or a nice house or living,
Well, the cost of living in this state is absolutely ridiculous.
It's out of this world and has been for many years. And I think people,
Come on in,
when
everyone. Got a new stadium, though.
We got nice weather, and we got a new stadium. But
everyone's going to live in it pretty soon.
Live there. So, yeah, I don't know the number, but I remember I was in Austin a couple years ago, and 2 years ago, I think, and I was talking with my family who does live there, has lived there for like 30 years or something, and they were talking about the amount of people that are moving to Austin every week. Like, they were saying they think the number's in the 10 to 50,000 per week.
It's like a little blue dot right in the middle of this big red giant.
Yeah. So that was, and honestly, when I was there, the traffic that I experienced was the worst I had ever experienced.
So we bring that too. That comes with, are we just like, as Californians, doomed to sit in traffic wherever we live? Is that part of our journey?
So. It's karma. It's some kind of karmic thing attached to our souls. And no, I just don't think Austin was ever prepared for that many people to come through. And so, and then everyone wants to be in the same general areas because that's where all the cool stuff is and all the people are. So that brings
and that just drives everything up.
Yeah, it drives it up. And so and I would imagine the same thing's probably happening in Houston and Dallas as well.
You were saying also before the show, like Idaho is seeing a lot of that inflation right now. We're not seeing a Austin come to life necessarily yet, but in Idaho, that's a big place where the market of Californians are leaving furiously. You were saying Washington used to fucking hate us. Now they are us. Washington is basically another California. You really think about it.
Right. Yeah. Well, and now Texas is on its way. They'll never admit that, but we're going to turn it blue. The Idahoans.
That's one thing to look at. If California spreads out enough, we're just going to help the country. We're going to massage a lot of that down. There's going to be some change. Yeah. But it's also going to be better for everybody else. Let us come.
Yep.
We're fun.
Yeah, exactly. We're fun. But yeah, in Idaho, so Idahoans, I think that's what you call them, they are not too thrilled with the amount of Californians who have been coming into their state.
Too bad.
Yeah, well, what's in Idaho? Potatoes? Okay, I can get on board.
There's a lot of trees. There's a lot of lakes. Yeah, there's a few cities.
Really?
There's one really close to Canada. The name escapes me right now because it's like French, but it's a beautiful fucking city. I would totally fucking live there. And I've thought about it a lot, but I don't remember the name. Haven't done it.
So obviously, because you couldn't even get there. You can't even find it on a map.
Well, you just go, if you're in Seattle, you just keep driving to the right.
And you end up in Idaho.
Yeah. That's
okay. It's that city. So
it's
if anyone knows.
Sliver.
Yeah, in the sliver. And what ends up happening in Idaho is that Idaho, obviously, real estate is cheap as shit.
Yeah.
Because very few people live in that state.
Their houses are made of potatoes.
Yes, exactly. And when Californians leave California, they are used to a very a bursting real estate market.
Sure.
Where the average home price, I don't know the facts, but it's probably somewhere in $450,000 to $500,000 is for the average home price in California, and easily goes much higher. And so when they move to Idaho, they see this house for $80,000. And they're talking to their real estate agent. They're like, well, there's a lot of talk on this house. And they're like, well, it's basically free. That's why everyone's talking about it. So why don't you offer them $120? And they just way up the price because the real estate seems so cheap there. And so the Idahoans, if they want to move, they're competing against these Californians who have a lot more money and a lot more access to capital just because of where they have lived, which drives up real estate prices. And, because it's all about supply and demand. Not that there isn't plenty of space to build more houses, but
maybe we shouldn't build on top of every mountaintop and every fucking forest. Maybe the reason why people want to go to Idaho is that big fucking open space. The one thing that we do not have here in California is any goddamn space. The only beautiful places left in this state have to be a national park or a national forest, and you have to pay money to get in. Otherwise, there's too many of us. We would just fuck it all up.
But if you drive east, there's a fuck ton of space in California. It's just along the coast. There is no more space.
Yeah, if you want to live in the desert where we've done a lot of dumping of terrible toxins.
Well, even if you take the 5 up north, it's all the farmland and all the
that's farmland. We supply so much of the food to the rest of the country. Just in that stretch, Yeah. We can't build homes there.
We could build homes near there because not all of it's farmland.
But maybe that fucks up the food.
Maybe it does. I don't know. We get a lot of these fires because we build in more fire apt kind of places now. We've expanded our communities to go deeper and deeper into what would be called wilderness.
So are you saying that we should also, with the traffic, we should bring the fires with us to these other states?
No, that gets there on its own, man.
These other states don't have fires like we do.
I think Idaho might sometimes.
It's always snowed on, though.
But Texas is a fire.
Yeah.
That's just a party.
The maskless party.
In freaking March. half the time.
Back on Texas, like fucking just like Ted Cruz for a second. I know he's
Yeah.
in Mexico. I know all the things that everyone
He came
else is
back.
saying. It's just like, yeah, we get it. Ted Cruz, not a great guy. Did you know that his real name is Raphael?
I think I did know that.
His name is Raphael Edward Cruz. Where does Ted come from?
Edward.
Ted is short for Edward?
No.
Tedward?
But they were like, well, why don't you go by Ed?
It
And
just
he was
sounds like he
Ed
does.
Cruz.
It just sounds like he wants to sound more white. Fucking Ted
does.
Fled Cruz, bitch.
Raphael Cruz. He would have got way further if that was his name. Like if that's the name he used.
Well, that is his name, so he should.
Well, if it's the name he used, like he would have gotten even further than he is in his career.
If you had to pick a different name for yourself, what would it be? Not Daniel, and not ethnic. It has to be your fucking brand. Like, what would you rebrand Daniel as? Jeremy?
No.
Shermanio?
Shermanio? That's not ethnic? I don't know what the fuck that is. I've never heard of that.
What's like a Viking name you could give yourself?
Pablo?
Pablo.
No.
Pablo.
I don't know. I never thought about changing my name.
So
I
you like
my
Daniel.
name.
You're good with it.
Yeah, what about you? I feel like you have several names back in your back pocket.
I don't, but it's just like my whole name is confusing because it's just 3 first names. So I feel like maybe I would give my first name a last name so I could finally get a last name like Andrews James Gabriel.
Andrews is a first name too.
Not with the S.
With an S. Yeah, but with an S. It's like,
Okay,
whose sunglasses
fucking
are these?
give me
They're
a
Andrews.
random ass last name, you fucking piece of shit. What else you got? Andrews
William.
James Gabriel was pretty great. Williamson. I would change it to Williamson. Williamson James Gabriel. So finally I can have a last name.
Why don't you put it as your last name though? Like, why did you put it as your first name?
Just because I don't have a last name, so I thought it'd be funny if I'm going to change my first name to give myself a defining. Gabriel's not a last name. It's not. I know this because my family doesn't know what our last name was, and it doesn't count. It was his first name, so that's our last name. I'm giving my last name the first name slot.
Okay, so Williamson James Gabriel.
Yes. Fuck you, Ted
Sounds
Cruz.
an awful lot like your name currently.
But a lot more original. Williamson. Have you ever met anyone named Williamson as a first name?
Not as the first name, no, that's for sure.
I'm the first. I'm going to call somebody. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this at some point in my life now. I like this idea.
Change your name,
To Williamson.
like legally.
Why not? I don't know anybody anything.
Okay, do it.
I
then.
got rid of Will last year. We're getting rid of William this year. Maybe.
And then, we're on to the middle name after that.
Speaking of last names, though, Cuomo did some shit.
Dr.
But I don't-
Cuomo. I mean,
Dr.
Governor
Cuomo.
Dr. Governor Cuomo. He's been in the news frequently, which has been kind of fascinating. Not really,
Kind
but
of.
there was a little bit of a cover-up
Mhm.
that went on. There was some not sharing of datas
Wow.
and numbers.
Surprising
light.
for a politician. This is so unlike them. Tell us more, Daniel.
Like them. So the gist of the story is, everyone has been on Cuomo about the nursing home deaths since the beginning of the virus. There was some hiding of some numbers that
Right.
has since come out in regards to how much the virus had proliferated. Is that a word? I don't know. The nursing home community.
Interesting time to make a joke.
You got to throw them in there when you can.
I guess.
And there also was an estate assemblyman from New York who said this week that Cuomo threatened him.
Wow.
Yeah, threatened his career.
We got a Junior Trump going on over here.
Mhm.
He is.
Well,
he is
everyone
Italian.
has always said that
mob.
Cuomo's pretty mafia. Yeah, no one liked Cuomo before this pandemic, and then suddenly everyone who didn't live in New York during the pandemic was like, "Oh my God, this guy's a real leader," and Trump was like, "I don't know," So it's like
We were just so deprived of a real leader.
Yeah,
You know?
so
Like we
he
hadn't seen one in
stepped out.
3.5 years, and we were like, this guy's kind of handsome. He's got a nice tone to his voice. He's not screaming at us.
It's
I think
nipple
this is our
ring.
next president. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's us, a country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turns
Sometimes
out,
he would just
piece of shit.
he would be really serious,
Yeah.
but sometimes he wouldn't be.
I'm still not letting
know-
go that his brother faked having coronavirus. Fuck that guy.
He didn't fake having coronavirus. He had coronavirus.
Did he?
Yes.
Out and about?
Everyone in New York got coronavirus
Nikolai?
very quickly.
Did not.
He didn't live there. He was in Connecticut.
I rest my case.
That thing was traveling that city on the subways all day.
So what's the backlash of this situation? What's next?
So,
What's happening?
Who knows like what's going to happen? We're following the story very closely.
Is everyone losing their governors and mayors by the end of 2021, 2022?
The people are under fire. Newsom's not doing so hot.
There's like
Cuomo's
enough
not
signatures
doing so
now,
hot.
right?
Maybe there might be a recall election. It seems like. Not that it would happen necessarily, but there might be. So it's a crazy. It's looking back. When we started this pandemic, almost a year ago, basically.
We're getting pretty close now.
Yeah, to our shutdown at least. It was already here a year ago, and the figures that popped out that were great. At the beginning were Newsom, were Cuomo, and of course, my all-time favorite, Dr. Fauci.
Oh my god, this fucking guy. He's ruined all of Daniel's other impressions. He used to do a Godfather, and now that's gone. Now it's just Fauci. Fauci for every character.
It's a great impression. And actually, I heard something this week about Dr. Fauci.
Tell me.
Well, it's not about him. It's about using his name as a verb.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Fauciing someone?
Definitely not.
To Fauci someone?
We just discussed that I can't read.
Okay, well, here we go. I'm going to explain this to you because I heard it this week and I think it's kind of brilliant. If you're in a relationship or you're dating someone, right?
Yeah.
And you, like we are careful about the virus.
I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
We care about the virus.
We care.
But your partner
I care.
is like, I know you do. Your partner is like, I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to hang out with friends. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm going to go to the grocery store without a mask. Like if your partner is a Karen,
Yeah.
you
Or
break
Ken.
up with them, right?
wow.
Because you're like,
Don't even try to
Pandemic.
give them data. Just end of relationship.
you Fauci him.
You Fauci him.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just like, nah, I'm Dr. Fauciing you. You're out of here.
So they called him to tell him this? Like who decided this?
Oh, okay. Apparently it originated on a dating app.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Plenty of Fish dating app or something. I've never heard of that.
Sure.
But
It's been
that's
around.
a dating app. Okay, so they it's a dating app, and I guess that term was thrown around there, and now it's a real term, and now you can Fauci someone. It's in the Urban Dictionary.
Really?
Yes, really.
That's a lot. I don't know that he deserves that much credit personally. I think it's nice what he's done. I definitely know that he was under extreme circumstances with the last administration, but he's on all these shows. He's on every fucking thing. He's on like 20 podcasts a week. Get in the lab, bitch. Fucking fix this thing. Find what we need. You're just like talking to everybody about it and being like, yeah, I'm important now. Just do your job. I don't need to hear from him that much.
Okay, excuse me.
Yes.
Can we talk about how we're sitting here in
I'm
our
not a
lockdown
doctor.
homes
I'm not a doctor.
almost a year later, but there are 2 vaccines that work? Thank you, Dr. Fauci.
He didn't make them personally.
Yeah, but he encouraged them. Okay?
That's like when the producer wins Best Picture award, but really didn't. He was just like, everyone do your job.
Is that a job?
Everyone do your job. Eat the lobster.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the fucking Oscars all over again.
Because no one would do their job if it weren't for him or her. And Dr. Fauci encouraged that vaccine into existence.
I love him for what he did this year. Little less podcasts, little more lab time.
That's not what he needs to do. He's the director of, oh my God.
I'm in charge.
No.
I get it. You're in love. Maybe you should go on Plenty of Fish and go out with fucking Dr. Fauci. That's what you're missing in your life.
Excuse me. I don't date people over 65 anymore.
And on that, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Lávate las manos. Es muy importante que te laves las manos. Wash your damn hands.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Did you have a good break, Will?
I did. It was very long. We did a lot during the time. I gathered my thoughts.
Did you go to the bathroom?
No.
Okay.
I couldn't have if I wanted to. Maybe I will under this desk. You won't know the whole time.
Please don't do
I
that.
did it at the top of the show. You didn't know.
Oh.
I did not.
Oh.
Did not.
Gross.
But every week we like to teach something to you, the people, to our friend Daniel here. We call this segment Dan Learns the Internet. And I don't have a clip for you this week, but just more of an incredible story. There have been so many terrible things going on this week. It's been a depressing fucking week. Everyone's letting us down. And I wanted to pull something a little inspiring just to like remember that like people are incredible. We can fucking do some pretty crazy shit when we put our minds to it. Not our minds, but like smart people, you know? And NASA has been hyper focused on a new Mars rover that has been traveling for the last 7 months. And yesterday it finally touched down on the planet and it was a success.
Wow. On the planet of Mars?
Yeah. So this is the first time that we've done this in 15 years, I believe. They sent something out to Mars and it like broke.
Okay.
Like it just like didn't work the way that they intended it to. And they've taken all of this time to finally give us something and just to study what happened to that planet. There's crust that is on just the surface of that planet that's older than any crust that's on our planet. So this is the oldest thing we've ever been able to like take something from and really decipher what happened there. What was life like? Was it even possible at any point? It's just fascinating to me. They called the rover the I don't know. Perseverance. Which I think was supposed to be inspiring, but
because it persevered through that atmosphere.
My favorite part is it has a Twitter account.
Oh,
like the moment it touched down, it was like tweet. The robot of it was like, "I'm here. You up?"
Even on Mars, we've got to share shit. We can't even just enjoy the fucking moment.
No, but I think it is like for some people that do like getting information that way, they aren't subscribed to the LA Times or anything like that. They're not going to maybe see that story. And this is a great way to see the images that are already being broadcast back instantaneously. You don't have to watch it on some like hour-long NASA thing on the news. You can just like look at the picture yourself at your own time. I don't know. I find that fascinating. I find it inspiring. And I hope that they find Matt Damon soon.
Hey, he's growing potatoes out there. Maybe he needs to go to Idaho. He's still there, man. I never finished that movie. I don't know
his own shit. You didn't finish The Martian?
No, I totally did. I just thought it would be funnier if he was still there because I didn't finish it.
Oh, gotcha.
Because he actually escaped in that movie.
Did he,
Spoiler.
though? Did he, though?
Yeah. Didn't he?
I love that you don't know. This is fun.
I can't remember. I think he did. So this rover. Now,
Perseverance.
Question.
Yeah.
The Perseverance.
The president.
The President-verance. You said it took 7 months to get there?
Yeah.
I thought if we were going to send humans, it was going to take like 2 years to get over to Mars.
Well, the difference between sending something this is a much lighter rocket than would be, let's say, a transport. Just think of like a jet, like a personal jet versus like a JetBlue or something bigger that you would see at the airport.
Sure.
This is a much smaller thing, and it doesn't necessarily have to go through the same safety precautions that a human being would have to do. And also, a lot of those things are kind of speculative. No one really knows. They just know the way, kind of like how the storms ebb and flow in the oceans. Like there are certain times of the year to go to certain places in the world.
Right.
It's kind of that way in space. There are space movements, way, the positioning of the planets, and just a lot of math, a lot of fucking math.
Yeah.
And the way that it would be for sure, by math statistics, safe to go would take longer. It's not that it would take 2 years to get there. I think you could only do it every 2 years.
Got it. And they would need a long time on the planet to set up some things. You know, they need
that's like
bathrooms.
fucking space movie, dude. I don't even know what happens then.
You know,
I don't even know.
But it's interesting because when you get into space, right, there's no gravity, which means there's no weight. So a big rocket, small rocket, California-sized rocket should be able to
California-sized rocket
propel itself, given that there's enough friction or what science.
It creates its own
science
friction.
is happening.
Yeah.
And then somehow they get to Mars.
Thank you.
Boom. Okay, so we've got science on Mars. They made it. They landed.
Are you excited for any of that? Are you excited that like there's possibilities? Not exactly for that. I know that doesn't really twiddle your fingers or anything. It doesn't do anything for you to somebody to get a rock. I like collecting rocks. It's a nice time.
I like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
There you go. But do you have any interest or excitement towards the like people just thinking outside of the box of like, dude, the ice storms in Texas may get worse over the next 100 years. There may be things that we can't predict or even change about global warming coming forward. Is there anything positive or interesting to you about like life moving beyond just our planet? Or is that still science fiction? Is that still kind of just like a story we're telling ourselves that's interesting, you know?
No, I mean, I think it's fascinating. I think I think it's awesome that we're there. You know, like that's how far the human existence can go. I'm sure there's a lot to be learned from there. My theory on other life sources, potential habitable whatever planets for the human race.
Habitable perseverance.
I doubt would be in our solar system. Like we would need to go a lot further than Mars.
Potentially, but it has a lot of similar things to our planet. The atmosphere, a lot of things do resemble our planet. And I think the main point of this mission is to look at these beds of lakes that used to be there and see what life actually existed and if it's possible to push that envelope. Right. We've obviously pushed the envelope here compared to what was supposed to happen as far as humans in existence. Let's change that as a possibility.
Yeah.
It's technically a dead planet. We're not ruining anything. As far as we're concerned.
It's ours.
Until we're canceled for going to Mars.
Mars is America too.
I didn't say America. I never said America.
I'm pretty sure NASA's landed on it.
It is NASA. It is NASA. Don't they all work together though? Don't all the space programs work together as like friends? I would like to think so.
The 60s literally, Neil deGrasse Tyson had an awesome TikTok this week where someone was like, why did we go to the moon and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, honestly, I wish to say it was because of science, but really it was because all these countries just wanted to be better than everyone else. And so, yay.
You hear that, Grandpa? Great job.
Countries.
Great job,
countries.
Grandpa.
So I don't know. Maybe they work together, but my guess is they're still withholding some stuff just so they can be like, America's better.
Gotcha.
Russia's better.
Way to make this a depressing story.
Hey, we made it to Mars, baby, again. For the 5th time.
Is it the 5th time?
I think it's the 5th rover. I think I did read that.
Wow. That's pretty incredible, actually.
It's exceptional. They get better every time.
One thing that they did add this time, because everyone's into drones now, they made a drone. They made a Mars drone that's going to fly off the rover. He's going to do his rover shit, and there's going to be a drone taking, because like one thing that you know as like someone that grew up in the 90s with that rover that went on the moon and everyone fucking talked about it, and it's like it's taking pictures and sending them back. The pictures were like if you held a fucking camera straight to the ground, just straight on the fucking floor, just like here's a rock.
Yeah, like cool.
Okay. So
I can see the strings.
So the added detail of like a expansive, wider scape view of what's going on is actually pretty fascinating to see like what is there and where I can build my new home, because Idaho is going up in price. Texas is melting away. There's going to be nothing left by the time I have money and ready to live. So I'm going to have to buy some property on Mars, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's my future.
I don't think you have to buy it. I think you just take it and you're like, this is mine.
I'll buy it though. I'll be that guy.
Okay. Whatever. Teach their own. I'll fight for mine. I'll fight for mine.
Your fight for your Mars?
Yeah.
Just Daniel's living Starship Troopers' his best life. God damn.
I'm reading a lot of early 1900s books, late 1800s kind of stuff. It's a different world. It's a different world. Yeah. You fight for your shit. You don't just let someone take it. You fight for it.
And that's the American dream, I think, is violence. So, was that an episode?
I think it was.
Daniel?
I don't remember starting it, but I remember finishing it.
Where can the people find you, man?
You can find me on YouTube, Daniel Wargo. TikTok, Daniel Wargo. Everywhere else, Daniel Wargo.
Dude,
where
that
can people
TikTok
find
I
you?
made is up to like
Gabriel?
75,000 views. I don't know what's
75,000?
Dude, it grew like 40,000 views yesterday. I had to turn off the notifications. It was killing my phone before lunchtime.
Look at this TikTok star we have.
Dude, imagine like you fucking try and make content and no one watches that, and then you're like, let me eat some cheese and pull the strings. Just 2-second video. That's what the people want. That's what we've learned by creating an hour-plus podcast. Eat some cheese. They can find me on Twitter. I will not tell you my TikTok. You have to find that for yourself. But you can find me on Twitter at Will J. Gabriel.
I'll tell you it if you ask. Just DM
Daniel
me.
will dox me.
Yeah, I'll dox you. So yeah, this was a great episode. If you like this podcast, please give it a 3 to 5-star review in your favorite podcast app. We would
Apple
greatly
Podcasts,
appreciate
Spotify, Stitcher,
YouTube.
Podbean,
You can
YouTube.
Subscribe to us on YouTube if you'd like.
Bing, bang, boom.
Lockdown Podcast, I think
Yeah.
it's called. And we're not the other Lockdown Podcast. We're the other one. So we're the better one.
Doing great.
Yeah, we're killing it. So I hope you have a great week, man.
Thank you guys for hanging out. Yeah, stay warm, everyone. Take care of your loved ones. Reach out to people. Tell them you love them. And remind them that you live in California and they don't.
Yeah, your life is better than theirs.
But we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
All right.